coming off my junior year at Penn State. We had just won the national championship, and I remember in the springtime we went out to Long Beach to play in the active ankle tournament. I spoke with Ron Larson, who at the time I had no offense to Uncle Ron Larson there. I
Uncle
had no
Ron.
idea who he was. He just came up to me and said that he was the assistant coach of the national team and he really liked what I did. And don't be surprised if I get a phone call to go out that summer. I was like, okay, cool. And sorry, I should touch back. Like my progression through USA Volleyball, through college, everything. I honestly had no idea what I was going to do. I just got a phone call that, hey, this college is interested in you. Do you want to go on a visit? Sure. Hey, you got selected to the ATU like developmental high performance team. Do you want to come out for a camp? Sure. Like I just doors open and I just kind of said yes and just kept going. Eventually got to this point at Penn State. And for the national championship, it was in Irvine, and luckily the national team trains right there in Anaheim at the time, and we're still out there. And so Hugh McCutcheon was the head coach, and I think it was 2 days after the national championship, I was back at Penn State, and I'm not afraid to say I was partying quite a bit and celebrating our win and having a good time. And I was also looking forward to, because it was the first summer I was going to have off. So I was looking forward to just being a college kid and enjoying my apartment at State College and working camps that summer and all that jazz and everything like that. Do that I thought was so much fun. And Hugh called me and was basically saying, hey, we want to invite you out to California to start on the national team. And I was like, okay. And he shut down my aspirations pretty quickly that I wasn't coming out to train to go to the Olympics, because that was 2008, the Beijing Games. It's like, but we want you to come out and train with the Pan Am team, and there's a chance we could send you to Japan for a week training block with the Japanese national team. So I said, okay, when you need me out there? And he's like, whenever you can come, let us know and we'll get you a ticket. So I think I was at Penn State for a few days. I went up to my hometown in Buffalo, New York to be with my family for a couple of days, then flew out to California to train. Went to Japan, a week later. It was like just 7 guys. A couple of guys that played like,
7 guys.
yeah, it was just like a training block.
Dang.
It was me, Evan Paddock, Paul Lottman, John Winder, I think Nate Mearstein. Shoot, I don't know who else, honestly.
That's crazy.
Sorry
Seven
guys, I
guys.
forget about you. But basically, they just wanted some guys to just come and bang serves and hit
Yeah.
high balls and stuff, just to help them train to qualify for their last minute qualifier for the Olympics, which they ended up doing. But there were some pro scouts there that saw me, and I remember sitting in my hotel room. Matt Proper was there too, and getting an email the last day that we were there, right before it went out. And I thought it was a joke. I thought like the guys had set something up and like got some Japanese agent to write me and make a joke. But at the same time, like I was a NCAA athlete. I had no idea like corresponding with an agent. Like you can't do that, right? Like
Right.
all these things that were going through my head, and I couldn't tell if it was real or not. And so there was a way around it, and basically somebody acted for me and corresponded for me to find out its validity, and it was real. By the time too much time had passed, and they found somebody else for that job in Japan, but that agent was able to find a relatively similar contract in Korea. And so then that process started of me talking to my family, talking to my college coach, and understanding like, can I go play pro right now? Like, what's stopping me? What benefits happen if I stay in school and finish my degree versus what happens if I just go and play pro? And obviously everyone knows my decision. I went and played pro, and it was very simple, black and white. I just made it pros and cons, and the pros outweighed the cons of going to play professionally. And so I decided to go play, and that was Korea.
It's crazy because these like small things always are what lead to like such big changes in your life. It's just like, oh, like life is so fragile. You say yes to one thing, and then you're in the right place at the right time, and then something else pops up, and like 10 years later, you're like a science teacher at some school, and you're like, how did I get here? It's like that one thing led to like this whole new road.
Going to Penn State, I was fully ready to get a degree and go back to Western New York and be a PE teacher if I could be, and just
that's crazy.
Be around with my family. And quickly after like getting to Penn State and understanding like what could be, like just talking to some older guys that were, you know, in their 5th year and they were trying to go play professionally and what that looked like. And I was like, dude, you can do this? They're like, oh yeah, we're gonna go to Puerto Rico and make 25 grand in a few months. And I was like, wait, can I do that?
Sign me up.
That's incredible. Like go live on the beach. And they're like, oh yeah, but then we go play in Europe, because at that time the Puerto Rican league was in the summertime. So it was the 3 months in the summertime. If they weren't on the national team, they went and played in Puerto Rico. And then they would go play overseas.
Oh, that's a good deal.
Yeah, it was a pretty cool setup. But then the Puerto Rican league tried to compete with some European leagues and stuff like that. But anyways, I was like, wow, screw being a teacher. Like, I'll go play professional volleyball if I can. Like, this is amazing. But yeah, ended up in Korea for my first couple of years. You know, we had a really good team coming back too, and like there was a chance that we could repeat, and what that looked like. And did I need to do that to prove that I was a good enough player in college? And then my thoughts started to kind of evolve. My goals started to evolve, because I don't mean to downplay the NCAA, but my goals moved on pretty quickly. Like my junior year, I played really well, and I had won all the individual accolades you can win pretty much in college. I won best player of the year for my conference, which is the EIVA. I won MVP of the EIVA tournament. I won co-player of the year with Paul Lottman, which, whatever, say what it is.
Not mad about it.
Yeah, Paul's one of the best.
I'm not mad about it.
But then I won MVP of the NCAA tournament. We won the NCAAs. Like, what else did I need, you know? And if somebody wanted to say that I was an okay player in college, well, honestly, I just didn't care anymore, because my goals had moved to the professional ranks. And then the chance to play in the Olympics, like that was my goal now. So.